Minecraft tips videos are great for two reasons. Either you get to feel super smart because you already knew everything in the video, or you learn something. Either way, it's a net positive. This video was all recorded using Bedrock Edition. Let's go light some more stuff on fire. My favorite enchantment for the sword is Fire Aspect. It's very useful in Java and Bedrock because you can kill animals and cook their meat at the same time. But did you know, in Bedrock, you can also light campfires and candles. Terribly handy. You might also know that you can light TNT. Always a good time. Now you may have heard that the pen is mightier than the sword. But in Bedrock, the book is a powerful substitute. You do not need to enchant your tools to light a campfire. You can just use the enchanted book. Well, this is way better than book burning. All right, let's see just how explosive literature can be. That was fun, but can a book kill a cow? I mean, a cow died to make the book. Nope. Only if I punch it. Unfortunately, neither a sword nor a book can light another portal. But I have another alternative for you. Of course you can use a flint and steel, but this is a useful trick to know. Place a row of flammable blocks at the top of your nether portal. Pour on the lava just enough to get it started, and then pick up the lava so you don't make a mess of your world. And before you know it, your nether portal will be lit. Now traditionally, you build a farm by tilling farmland within 4 blocks of a water source. But did you know you can irrigate farmland with running water? Look how far away my water source is. If you don't have any water at all, you can grow crops with tilled land and bone meal. Once you hoe the dirt, you must place the seeds quickly before the farmland turns back into a dirt block. Now, the only way the crops are going to grow is with bone meal. So you could actually use this tip for decorative farms that permanently look like they're in the process of growing. This tip also works for growing anything in the nether. On the topic of farmland, did you know you can hide a light source under a farmland block and the light will shine through? The same applies to a path block. It's a clever way to keep your area lit without a bunch of torch spam. A new update is if you try to bone meal a single dark oak sapling or pale oak sapling, it won't deplete your bone meal. So only if you plant them in the group of 4 will the bone meal work. But you don't have to have bone meal to grow these trees. You can also simply plant them and let them grow naturally. It takes about an in-game day or 2 for trees to grow without bone meal. Speaking of bone meal, just in case you didn't know how special Bedrock was, you can speed up the growth of sugarcane with bone meal. Generally, there's 2 varieties of sugarcane machines that you can build. One's passive and one's active, but only Bedrock can use the bone meal versions. Always check the game mode of a tutorial before building a farm in survival. You don't want to waste your time. So here's a random Bedrock fact. Cakes are stackable. I think this is most useful as you can place a cake into a birthday bundle to give to your friend on their birthday. Speaking of bundles, let's go over a clever use when mining. If you do not have the Silk Touch enchantment on your pickaxe, you may find yourself with a very full inventory long before you're ready to head to the surface. Did you know you can make blocks out of some of the resources you may find while strip mining? Copper, gold, iron, redstone dust, lapis lazuli, even diamonds will all combine into a single block when you use a crafting table. Just by making blocks, I have cleared up a lot of inventory. But check it out. All of those blocks take up less space in a bundle and leave me a ton of room to keep digging while being able to carry everything back up to the surface. A bow and arrow is super fun and a great defense. You can shoot arrows if the arrows are somewhere in your inventory. They don't have to be in your hotbar. Arrows can also be in your offhand, and you can shoot them, no problem. But sadly, you cannot put the arrows in a bundle and still shoot them. Nothing's happening. If anybody with any power is listening, this would be a cool feature for a bundle. But let's go over what you can carry in your offhand in Bedrock. It's not a lot. So here's the complete list. The offhand in Bedrock is mostly useful if your inventory is full and you still want to carry home your 3 nautilus shells, but it's mostly useful for the Totem of Undying and maps. You can look at two maps at the same time if you're trying to find treasure or are just lost in general. The Totem of Undying works when held in your offhand, so that's great. I mean, could you imagine if the only way this tool worked was if it was in your hotbar and selected? But you cannot use rockets if they're in your offhand. Holding rockets here is only useful if your inventory is full and you need space. Here's a very basic but game critical tip. Jump stacking. Look down at the ground and jump. Next time you jump, place a block underneath you. Repeat this until you're at the desired height or you run out of blocks. This is jump stacking. Now that we're up here, how do we get down without dying? Lucky for us, we brought a boat. If you are in a boat, when you fall from a high level, you do not take damage. Let's go on a trip. Did you know that drinking the potion of night visions allows you to see stuff underwater during the day from your boat? Oh, hey, I can see that ocean ruin now. I can also see the shipwreck. But before I go check out the shipwreck, I want to set my spawn point. Lucky for me, you can place a block on top of kelp. Now I have a little platform for my bed right near the shipwreck. We are back on land, and I have a few more notes about boats. As of version 1.21 point whatever, we can finally trap Endermen in boats, in Bedrock, and they will not teleport away. So I can safely stand here and not get attacked by these Endermen. I can also pull the Endermen around with a lead. Now here's a trick to pulling a boat uphill. The trick is that you must jump stack or use scaffolding to get yourself at a slightly higher level, and then the boat will teleport up a block. Honestly, I feel like I'm pulling around a bunch of angry toddlers. Now the stacking trick does not work to pull a boat out of water, even if the water's only 1 block deep. So in this case, you have to make a little water ramp to get the boat on land. I should clean up the space a little. Did you know that soul sand will break a column of gravel or sand in the same way as a torch? Neat, huh? Let's talk about villagers. I have 2 things to share. Did you know you can double your investment on emeralds with 2 villagers? Take 3 emeralds and buy glass from a librarian. Now, not every librarian will sell glass, and you have to trade with them until they get to the level to find out. You can do this. Now, take your glass blocks and turn them into glass panes. Now you have to trade with a rescued cartographer. So this is a cartographer that was once a zombie, but I healed it with a potion of weakness and a golden apple. As a thank you, this villager has permanently lowered their trade. They bought my glass and they gave me 6 emeralds. So now I just doubled my emerald count. The second thing about villagers is that the cartographer is now selling maps not only to the nearest ocean monument and woodland manor, but also the trial chamber. These are all very fun structures to visit. I was just talking about potions, so I want to share some more cool things. Did you know you can store potions in a cauldron? They give off a super cool particle effect that is neat when doing an interior. It's also useful because you can brew and then store potions in the nether. As a review, to fill a cauldron, use 1 bucket of water. You can fill 3 bottles from this cauldron. Now, if you're in the overworld, a bucket of water can be used to fill a single hole in the ground. And from that single water source, you can fill an infinite number of water bottles. It's totally unbalanced, but pretty useful if you know your options. Now, this one's fascinating. Just in case you don't know, you must have the Silk Touch enchantment on your tool to break your ender chest, unless you want 8 fresh blocks of obsidian. But did you know that having the enchantment on any tool will work? Even a hoe, which might take forever, but you will eventually get your ender chest in 1 piece. Bizarrely, the same cannot be said for a plain furnace. If you use anything other than a proper pickaxe, you don't even get your 8 cobblestone back. In Bedrock, so many different blocks can be waterlogged that cannot be waterlogged in Java. So this is really cool until you watch a Java video and realize that you cannot just plunk down a door and breathe underwater. So here are some of my solutions if you don't have respiration on your helmet yet. 1 is to always carry around a magma block instead of a door. So long as you crouch, you can breathe underwater. Signs, ladders, and doors will stop flowing water. But First, you need some sort of structure around it. If you cut a 2x1 hole out of a wall, you can place a ladder inside, and then the space can be used for breathing. If the only enchantment on your helmet is Aqua Affinity, you can use this enchantment to quickly break into a wall and place a door. A door is super handy if you're being attacked by hostile mobs, whereas the ladder does not stop them from attacking you. The next 3 tips are found in your settings menu. If you have a lot of enchantments on your tools, it might be blocking your view. You can go into Settings, Video, scroll down to the GUI scale modifier, and lower it all the way down to -3. Obviously, it reduces the scale of everything, but it really helps with that massive enchantment list. I tried using an anvil, but all it did was add yet another thing on top of my huge list. Now, if you know of a way to get rid of them altogether, please list in the comments below. I desperately want to know. Now, this one's fantastic. Pick block. It is a super handy setting that is part of vanilla Minecraft. Go to the settings, controller, and scroll to the bottom. I have chosen my X button for pick block. In survival mode, I can hover over a block and click X. So long as I'm carrying that block in my inventory, it will load the block into my hotbar. So handy! But please note, if your hotbar is full and you use pick block over one of your tools, the picked block will replace the tool, placing your tool somewhere in your general inventory. Now that can be pretty frustrating. I found this in my settings recently, and I really want to share. In vanilla Bedrock, you can lower down the number of players needed to sleep through the night. Now, my husband really hates stopping to sleep, and I'm constantly left in an open field waiting for him to find his bed. If you didn't know about this one already, you're welcome. So here's one I just randomly discovered. And I did some testing, but I didn't get 100% conclusive evidence on this one. If you end up with a creeper in your chest boat and your chest boat is full of all your stuffs, the last thing you want is for the creeper to explode. The best method I found was to ignite the creeper, but then you want to back away really, really quickly. No matter what I did, the chest always exploded. But the chest boat tended to stay intact if I was further away. If I was really close, the chest boat kind of had a 50-50 chance of exploding. Ooh, sorry chicken. Obviously the best bet is to run away so far the creeper despawns. But if that's not an option, you can try this. My favorite was if I could get the boat to launch. Okay, you gotta admit, that's pretty fun to watch. Oh, that's a wrap. And thank you, oh my gosh, thank you so much for watching. I am a tiny channel, so any likes, any comments, anything, I just love it. In fact, I read the nice comments multiple times. I will not tell a lie.